Look at that beard you got going, man.
Getting old and gray, ain't it?
I like it though.
Getting old and gray.
You know he's outside with Bodine all the time, playing around in the woods. And
this is how you guys want to start the show, making fun of my beard and talking about Bodine. Me out in the woods playing with him. See how you guys are?
Absolutely.
Welcome everybody to the Paranormal Mystery Podcast. This is Jason and Brian, and I'll just step in the corner and shut up now.
Negative. Okay, I got you on you. I got you on your page. Is that where we're at?
I don't know. I just tried to get it going. Is that what it did? I screwed it up again, folks. So here we go. It is on LEP's thing, though. Let's just keep it rolling.
Let's do it.
So what's going on?
First off, Brian, thank you very much, man, for taking time out to hang out with us. I know your family time, like anybody's family time, is very important, but we appreciate you taking an hour out of your day and sitting down and talking with us.
I appreciate it, man. I've been looking forward to this since you guys have said, let's do this. I've been looking forward to it, and I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we also appreciate it. And also with the football going on, I know you're a big fan with that. I don't know what's on top of your head. Are they even in the playoffs?
Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I don't watch anymore.
They're the first seed.
Are they really?
This week they're so good.
So the second string Browns are actually in.
Don't say that again. Oh, that actually hurt.
The second string Browns.
Second string Browns.
Wow. And you know that hurts both sides.
I know.
Because the Browns don't like it. Right. Oh, look at that. I'm having problems hearing you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
I can't help it, man. When they first moved out and they first won their first Super Bowl, that's the first thing I told my brothers. They had to leave Cleveland to be able to become a winner and stuff because he's a huge Browns fan. And he's
Cleveland has all the opportunities, man. They've got a good squad. They just can't do it.
Yeah, they're coaching, and it's going to get revamped here this offseason.
Look, I don't like playing them, and I don't feel like they're a bad team. It's just a bunch of good players that haven't got a chance to really play with each other yet, I think. They'll be fine. I mean, I don't want them to be.
Right.
They're in my division.
Yeah, because then your team if they get a good thing going in Cleveland, you guys might want to move back.
Yeah. Ugh.
I've missed you.
Yeah, this interview is only going to be in about another 30 seconds. I can feel that.
I've missed you, Brian.
All right. Well, let's do something.
Well, we're working on that, man. We got to get something together.
Absolutely.
We've been talking about it for a while now. I mean, I haven't got to spend any time with you since there you go. Christy says I'm a little bitty spotting at the top, so I wonder how I adjust some things around here a little bit here. But last time I got to use, we was out at the Rhodes Hotel when we got spent some time together. I mean, we saw each other at SilCon, but you were just kind of in passing.
Yeah, I was just actually I was just driving by and was like, I'm gonna stop. I got to see my people and hang out. It felt good to not really have somewhere I needed to be, but I could still see the guys that I wanted to see. You know what I mean? I thought it was great.
It was great.
Absolutely.
Surprised everybody. It was good seeing you and stuff. But like I said, the last time we got spending time together, this is bad, people. I was underneath the Rhodes Hotel with you.
Yeah. Let's I don't ever want to do that again.
No, I don't either.
I don't know if I've ever.
Was there a special moment between the two of you under the Rhodes Hotel?
There was a special moment that Brian got to laugh at me.
Yeah, I'm a huge cuddler.
Right. So. Well, Jay is too. I know that for sure. We haven't had the chance to cuddle yet, Brian. So we'll have to make that happen too.
We'll make it a little.
Put it on the list, man. I'm ready. We can start whenever you need to.
All right.
Yeah, we actually right after Mike Couch took possession of it and things. Brian and I both volunteered to go there and do some work. And there's and for those that don't know, Brian, by profession you're a plumber, right?
Well, I am a construction worker, but I do a lot of plumbing.
A lot of plumbing and everything else. He does a whole lot of everything, and he's really good at a whole lot of nothing. But I mean, sorry, Brian, I didn't mean that come out like that.
That's completely accurate.
But they just had a plumbing issue, and I'm not a small guy. and Brian's a little smaller than I am, taller but smaller. And they decided that me and him would be the two that need to go underneath the crawl space of the Rhodes Hotel to work on some things.
Yeah, and if you want to put in perspective how big the hole was to get in there, it was about 12 inches wide. It was so small.
Yeah, it was
literally
terrible.
Was squeezing into this area.
And we just
I've heard that
backwards.
many times, but
it was hysterical. But on the bright side, Brian didn't get stuck in a spot like I did. I had to dig myself out for a little while because I tried to go through a spot that my fat butt was not going to fit through, and that's when I was like, dude, you're on your own from this point on.
That gets scary, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. You're underneath the 200-year-old, 1893 or 1863, something like that, when it was built. So you're like a 200-plus-year-old building that you're stuck under.
Yeah, and there's like only 18 inches or so clearance.
Oh, it was amazing. It was a great weekend.
Literally crawling on your belly to do the work.
Yeah, it was great. So I just
that's why I'm not a plumber.
Well, and this is what's going to come out bad. I ended up after that point, from that point where I got stuck because I couldn't go any farther forward. From that point on, I was considered Brian's pipe feeder.
I love it. No, I love that.
So I'm stuck in a nice little tight space with Brian, feeding him pipe.
Yeah, that makes me look bad.
That makes us both sound bad. But it was so simple and harmless, but it sounds terrible.
And it was probably all Robin's. Yeah. It's probably all Robin's fault anyways.
Absolutely.
Robin enjoys any time we're uncomfortable, and I'm sure of that.
Right.
And you guys said his name, and he joined the chat room.
Hi, Robin.
There he is.
Now this will get good.
Oh, my God. It was a great weekend, though. I had a lot of fun. And it's nice to be a part of something like that.
Oh, yeah. Mike's great. Robin's great. Don't tell him I said that. Apparently, you could probably hear that. But
well, I'm just saying. But not only are they great, but Mike with the Lost Stones Foundation. But to see that many people come together in the paranormal to work together to make this place a little bit better and help out for Mike, and then also to make it more available for people to investigate. To see people come together like that is phenomenal to see. And
it was also great to have Mike come out and actually be part of one of our episodes.
Yeah, that was cool. And we will get into that. That was really cool. We will get into that. And Jason, I know you got a lot of questions on that as far as we both got a lot of questions about you being on the show and how'd you go about that and all that. But we don't get into the whole.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know much about you, Brian. So why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself? How you got started, that kind of thing.
Well, I had an experience when I was about 14 years old. I went over to this girl's house to date her, and while I was there, she went to the bathroom. Her mother came in. She went to place some drinks on a table. She bent over, and there was a man standing behind her. Me and my buddy Matt both saw this person looking at us, and then it was gone. It kind of turned and walked a little bit, and then it was gone. So we did what anybody with we left. Okay.
Right.
We didn't talk to her. I have not spoke to her since this incident. Okay, that was when I was 14. We basically are 16, 14, 16 in that area. It's been a long time. Left and just decided, look, this is time to it scared me, man. I saw somebody looking at me. Had no clue to what it was. So I said, I got to start looking into this. And I've been doing it ever since. I'm still searching to figure out, what I saw that day. And I love it, man. I have a passion for it. Just like you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And that had to have, especially with just not you, but somebody else seeing it as well. So you could both talk about, what you saw, and it's not just one person saying, oh, I saw this, or multiple people seeing the same thing, man. That had to have, especially at that age, had to creep you guys out.
Yeah, actually, what was cool about it is me and him both started our paranormal years later. So it was me and him that started the group.
Oh, wow.
Years after we had the experience.
And it's funny because I was going to ask the question, and I decided not to. And then I look in the chat room, and Robin has asked the same question. And that question is, why was Matt with you on a date?
You know what? I wasn't good. I didn't have no game.
You do now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Of course not. But I don't know why Matt came. I don't know. Maybe we were both trying to get with her, but it didn't work for either one of us. What happened was we got scared.
Like many of us do when we're put in situations like that.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the girl or the actual entity that I possibly saw. Something
That's
scared me
amazing.
enough to leave.
Right. So then you guys, after that, actually years down the road, but then you formed Riverbend Paranormal.
Yeah, we started Riverbend Paranormal after I got out of the military. This is funny, man, but I'm sitting in my apartment in North Carolina. I'm getting out like within 6 months. I had just got back from Iraq, and I put on this TV show. My wife actually told me, hey, you got to watch this show. It's called Ghost Hunters. And I watched the show. I see Jason. I see Grant. They're doing their thing. And I'm like, I can do this. I can do this.
Right.
So next couple of days, I called Matt up and was like, hey, man, I've been thinking about doing this paranormal thing. He was like, I've been researching it. I've been trying to do it too. I said, I move home in 6 months. Let's get this thing going. And that's what we did. Started figuring out paperwork and figuring out how we wanted to do it. And if it was actually watching that show that got us into like, hey, we can do this. These guys are going into people's homes and they're not bullshitting with them. You know what I mean? They're like trying to figure things out. This is what we want to do. So started it, still going.
And ironically, years later, what you said you can do, actually you're doing on the same show that got you involved in it.
I know, and that is probably the weirdest thing is it's like a big circle that just happened. Like I watched the show, I saw this going on. I've been a fan and really super interested on how Grant does things in the first place. I mean, I think he's a book of knowledge and everything. And all of a sudden I'm right next to him in a room and I'm like, Jesus, this is so weird. I still say that to him.
Right. That's awesome. I want to just get off topic for just a second because you brought it up. You mentioned it. And Jay and I, LEP Productions, Paranormal Mysteries, all of us sincerely want to thank you for your service to this country. And we applaud you. And we love you guys for it. And man, we stand behind you guys. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do. I know it's not an easy job either. You got to go deal with it day in and day out. You know, and when I was in the military, a lot of that time is peacetime. You know, you're preparing to go to the conflict. I'd like to say that the men that are over there right now, you could see it in my posts. Every day I will post something for the Marines and whoever's over there, the men and women. I'm a big military guy. I always will be, but I'm also a big first responder guy. You know what I mean? I'm into people that help people and just be nice. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm praying for those guys that are over there right now. I wish I could be with them.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, and yeah, you can't ever show enough support for our military men and women and what they're doing, and you know, first responders and all that. But yeah, man, I just like I said, I know it's close with Jay and I, and we just want to thank you for your service. So
thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
I mean, that's without a doubt. I didn't say a whole lot because I couldn't. There's nothing I could add to what Jason just said, and it truly is for both of you guys. Because I have never done what either one of you two do, and I couldn't do it. It's just not the way I'm a jackass. I'd spent 30 years in jail for being a smart ass.
Well, a lot of people say they can't do it, but when it comes down to it, actually, I think a lot more people could do it.
I could, but I didn't. I made my choices to not go that route. My family's all military and stuff. My dad was military. My brothers were in the Army for 9 years. I just chose not to go that route. It wasn't at the right time for me. Now I'm too old. Now I'm fight to fight. There's no fight left. I just want to, push a button.
I never thought that I was going to be in the service either, man. I honestly was having a good time being 21 years old to the point where my dad was like, we're going down the wrong path, big guy. So figure something out. And I went actually to sign up for the Army, and he wasn't there. And the Marine that was there was like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about him. Come here. Do you look at this uniform, blah, blah, blah. And I was sold. Yep, he said some things I won't say on the air. But it sold me.
I couldn't imagine what that might be.
I will let you know it's hilarious.
No, I bet so. I bet so.
And so true.
Oh, that's the good thing, though. The truth is usually more funny than what the fake ever thought about being.
Right.
It really is.
He said the dress blue uniform will attract a certain kind of person, and if you don't believe me, earn the title and wear it. And he couldn't be. He was so right.
Right.
I love that. His words were different.
Life lesson.
Yeah. I like
So
it.
for all you young ones out there listening, join the Marine Corps, right?
Absolutely. Join the Marine Corps. Get out there and do your part for the country and get that uniform. You'll thank me and you'll thank Jay and you'll thank Jace. Just do it.
Actually, my wife's friend, her son just completed basic and just graduated this past weekend from the Marine Corps. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy.
Simplify, little man. He's about to find out.
Yeah, you can see it in his face. He's going.
Yeah, good.
I'm about ready to take my son down and drop him off and make him sign up.
Right?
That's what my dad did.
Well, it's illegal nowadays, but what's the technicality on that?
Yeah, you can circumvent the system somehow.
Yeah, there's gonna be some gray areas in there that I can pull some kind of bullshit on.
Hell yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm about to cough my head off tonight. Oh man. So with being involved at 14, 16, somewhere you get involved in your paranormal experience. Have you had too many things happen after that between then and when you started your group, or did it just straight go, kind of things calm down for a little while, or you not really pay attention?
I actually had some stuff go on in my own house, and I had started noticing it after I had the experience. So there was one evening where me and my brother, we had to share a room, and I was asleep. I don't remember the time, but something was screaming in my face, hey, hey, hey. And I woke up and I saw this white face in my face. I said, oh shit. I covered my head up with the blankets, didn't say anything. 2 nights later, my brother comes over and he's like, hey man, what's up? I said, what's going on? He says, you're all in my face screaming, hey, hey, hey. What's going on? I was like, whoa, that just happened to me 2 days ago. And then about a week later, it happened to my dad. So all similar experiences. So my dad used to work shift work, and he got a little bit irritated with the fact that we woke him up. You know what I mean? He thought we were the ones that were screaming at him.
Right.
So one of the things we would do is he would give us work jobs to do when he was a little bit pissed off at us. So he made us clean our basement. And when we went down into our basement, we had an old coal room. And on that coal room door was his name, my name, and my brother's name all scratched. We don't know where it came from. We painted over the door several times. The names would keep coming through. We just didn't know. And we would have, little things happening in the house. So honestly, I feel like since the day that I had my first experience, I've had several more. But I think I noticed it more. You know what I mean? I think people have even consider being, ghostly phenomena or anything like that just because they're not in tune to it. You and I, we have something weird happen. We dive into it. We go through our checklist. Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Notice it more. We notice it more.
Yeah, so I think when you open up to it and you actually accept that there could be something else out there, then I think you start being able to experience a little more and then trying to figure things out like that. But I think when you get closed-minded and just every time you see something, it's like, nope, it was this, nope, it was that, you're not going to be able to experience it as much as if you open up to a shot. And that seems to be what happened with you.
Yeah, after I had the experience, I actually started a group with just a couple of my friends called the Ghost Squad. After the movie Monster Squad, remember that movie?
Right.
That's
I
do.
So we would go around and we would try to find ghosts in the woods and things like that, and nothing ever really actually come about it. But it did open up a lot of doors with the research. I was reading a bunch of books and things on, what happened, and just part of me now. I love it.
It is amazing how easy this field, whatever you want to call it, genre. A lot of people just call it an expensive hobby because it kind of is in some ways. How easy it is to get so delved and immersed into it.
Yeah.
It truly is.
I think it's because I don't feel like I feel like we keep going after it because, for one, we don't completely understand it. And number two, we know that we're not going to understand it, even if we have these great experiences. And it's just that drive that, keeps you going. That's my opinion. I enjoy it.
I love it. And before we got involved, I was like Jason just said, I wasn't skeptic. I was closed-minded. I just dismissed stuff all the time. And then once I had that first opportunity to sit down and just open up my mind and go, okay, wait a minute, that just happened, and I don't understand why it happened. It created, for every question I think I might find an answer to, it seems like I opened up 3,000 more questions. And that constant thirst for knowledge and understanding is just, it drives you hard. Or at least it does me.
Well, it's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, it just keeps.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you use the two words that a lot of people push together, and they're completely separate, and that's skeptic and closed-minded. You can be a skeptic all day long and still try to find different things. But when you're closed-minded, you shut everything off.
That's what I'm agreeing. I wasn't even skeptical. I was closed-minded. I was like you said. Right. I had no skepticism ever. I had no. If it happened, I didn't understand it. I figured you understand this because my dad was in the Army, and he was a DI for a long time. But it's above my pay grade. It's not meant for me to understand. Do your job, focus on what you're supposed to do, and keep moving.
Right.
There was no questioning. You did what you were told to do. If it was outside what you're supposed to do, you ignored it and focused on your job. Stay focused on your job at all times. So when I opened up to it, like you said, and started getting these things that I started questioning, the question just never stopped now. The wanting to knowledge, to learn and understand, and to progress is not. It just keeps compounding and compounding. Or at least it does for me.
It does for me too. I consider myself still a skeptic, to the point where I'm going to be driven to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's the possibility of things being out there. I've seen things that I couldn't explain, but I don't have the overall answer yet. So until I have that overall answer, I feel like I'm skeptical.
Healthy skepticism should be.
I think it's healthy to take being skeptical into each investigation or each thing that you do when it's involved in this field, because I don't think you're doing yourself a service without having some sort of skeptical, feelings about this stuff. Because, I mean, let's be truthful. We don't know hardly anything about what we're dealing with when we start doing paranormal investigations and things like that. So I think that being skeptical is a huge part. And Jay and I are huge skeptics, but also understanding that you'd be silly to think that there isn't anything else out there.
Exactly. These stories have been going on since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I feel like, how was I going to say this? I lost my train of thought. Totally did, man.
It's the Marines and not the Army.
Yeah. So here's what I was going to say. For me personally, it's not actually about finding an entity anymore. It's more of, why do you feel like that entity's here? How can I help you pass that or embrace that? Or if there is an entity there, how can I possibly help that entity? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going into a location. I'm not going into a house or an asylum or anything to find out that it's got activity. I want to do more with that. You know what I mean? We've all been to places that we would consider haunted. But what can we do to further that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is this entity needing help? How can we help them? Or how can we help the people deal with that entity being there? That's where I'm at.
You're taking it to the next level. You're taking it to the next step of, I mean, obviously when you go to those asylums and things, you're there for a reason. That's somebody's already proved that there's activity there. Sure. So why just go there and try to find the activity again and then leave if you're not going to do anything with it? And I think that's great, man. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's where I've wanted to be for years now, and now I get the opportunity to go out and go to these places that not everybody gets to go to. Let's just be honest.
Show off.
You know,
Right.
I'm not.
Bragger.
And you
Bragger.
get to go out there and yeah, thanks. You get to go and try to figure these things out in a different level than other than, yeah, you've got a ghost.
You know, Brian, you know that was coming, though.
Exactly.
You've known me for, what, 6, 7 years now? You know I'm going to bust on you a little bit, man.
I expect a lot of shit, let me tell you.
Just because you got some big star on your back now don't mean I'm not going to keep being your buddy.
I'm the same.
Exactly.
Same guy, there's no star.
And I'm the same guy that you were before you got on the show, so.
Honestly, man, if you weren't,
I
would probably call you, or I would send you a message and ask you what the hell's going on.
Well, you acting so professional for it, because we're on LAP Productions now, and I got to act like a little bit of an adult every once in a while.
Well, just be you. That's what I like.
The president of LAP Productions expects me to be mature every once in a while.
That's a big, big thing to ask.
Speaking of that, you are listening to Paranormal Mysteries Podcast on LAP. Tonight's guest is Brian Murray from Ghost Hunters, and again, we are happy to have him. This is not sponsored by the Baltimore Ravens, nor will it ever be. Maybe that 30-second segment can be sponsored by them, but
that's damn.
See that whole professionalism right there? That's why I forget to do all the time.
Yeah, I love that professionalism.
It eludes me quite a bit.
And in the chat room, start giving us some questions, whatever you guys want. Within reason. We're not going to delve into anybody's personal life, but questions about the show, questions about Ghost Hunters. If you got anything you want to ask Brian, send it here in the chat room. I know that I'm going to ask you, and it's usually the cliche question with everybody that gets picked to the shows. How'd you get picked for the show, man?
Okay, so I want to be just honest with you. I got a phone call that I didn't recognize. Immediately thought, okay, this is a bill collector. Didn't want my wife, didn't want anybody to know that could possibly be the case. So I went outside, I listened to it. It was just a message that said, would you be interested in doing a Skype interview for a possible paranormal TV show? I said, okay. I had done several of those before. I'm sure you guys have done things like that. And so I went into the interview process the next day. I did the Skype call in my bib overalls after I got off work, not worried.
That's my buddy.
About, just being who I was, not worrying about, I've been this route, so I'm just going to be who I am, answer their questions, and apparently they liked that. And I was like, okay. So I did a couple more of those, and then I was coming home from work about a week later, and they said that they wanted to send me to LA to do a week's worth of interviews. It's going to be an investigation. I'm going to meet producers. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, it's rolling longer. It's rolling along further than any other interview that I've had. I didn't know what the show was. I had no idea what I would be doing, but I just went out there. I thought, this is a free trip to California. I'm going to be in this cool hotel. Let's do it.
Right.
And then once I got there, I still didn't know what the show was. Went through all these interviews, did some investigation. There's a whole process that you have to go through to even be considered. And later, I was back out on the job. I called and said, hey, are you sitting down? And I was just like, just tell me, man. Like, I've got work to do. Is it good or is it bad? And they're like, welcome to the show, man. And I was like, wow, that's pretty unreal. I didn't think anything about it. I went back and done my job for the day. And then I just started getting these emails and things on other things that I needed to do. And all of a sudden, I was in Florida on a case.
Now, I'm sure that this isn't your full-time employment. You have full-time employment somewhere else. How were you able to sit down with your employer and try to figure out maybe a compromise that you could go do this show, or were you willing to walk away from your job to go do the show?
I work for my family, so I work for a family business, and they knew as the process was going on that, hey man, if the opportunity comes up, I'm going to take this.
Oh yeah.
And I still have a job when I get back. They knew. They were like, this is an opportunity that you can't pass up.
Opportunity of a lifetime.
And
Uh-oh. There he goes.
my son's school just called me on Sunday.
But
anyways,
it's the opportunity of a lifetime. Oh, and by the
so
way, for the record, I've never gotten calls like that. Jason, you may have, but I never have, and I never will because I've met me before.
Yeah, not anything like that. I've more movies and things like that on my end.
Nope.
Look at this big timer.
Right, but no, it's I'm telling you what, man. I think it's great. I think it's great that you're on the show, and just knowing what kind of person you are, and I think they made a great choice, man, by having you on that, and to be able to do it too. That's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of people. I have a buddy of mine that's on a different show, and he got the opportunity, and
different network.
Completely different network, but he had to make that choice. Do I stay working at my job, or do I go try this again? And he had been on shows before, and he chose to go do that. I can't walk away from 24 years of this to go do the show. I'd love to, but my wife and girls, and I can't. My son, there's just no way. I don't think I could do that.
That was probably the biggest factor right there. I have 2 boys. I have a wife, and at any minute that they said no, any of them, it was a no-go.
Right.
And I sat down and I talked to them, and as it went on, my wife, she's an awesome lady. First of all,
yes, she is.
She was like, "You have to. This is something that you've been working on." My intentions were never to be on a television program or anything like that. My intentions were to go out there and do what I do because I have a passion for the field. Now, when the opportunity came out, and then I found out who I could possibly be working with, this is a guy, that I have looked up to, and it was going to be an opportunity. So let's do it. Let's see how we're going to feel about it. And I can be honest with you, it's an experience that has helped me investigate in the investigations. It's an experience on, just challenging myself at locations.
Right.
I've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot, and I'm ready to, whenever this thing decides it's going to be done, I know that I'm going to be better at investigating, and that's what I wanted out of it.
But I know you, and I know that not only will you take this knowledge that you're learning now, but when this thing, like you just said, when this thing gets done, you'll be a better investigator. But I know you're going to share that knowledge. You're one of the people that will take that experience. You will take that knowledge, and you will share it with other people, and you will encourage other people to learn different things and try different things. And
absolutely,
I've said it many times to you in private chats and everything before, because I usually don't say a lot of nice things when you're around me. I usually talk mean to you when you're here and talk nice when you're not. But I'm happy that you made this.
I agree with all of that.
I do. I pick the crap out of you when you're near me, and I usually talk really nice to you when your back's turned. But I am happy for you, and I've said before, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing here, and I'm glad to see that you are doing that, and you're keeping that foot to the ground. You're still in contact with your Riverbend Paranormal. You still associate with them. You still do things with them. And to bring that knowledge back to help people progress to another level, not just yourself, but to bring that back for other people to progress also, is phenomenal and commands respect on that and admiration. And I do appreciate you for that.
I appreciate it too. I honestly look at every team and every investigator that's out there. I've always said it. We're on the same team. We're all trying to do the same things. It doesn't matter what show or what things or what, angle that you have, as long as you're doing it respectfully and for the reasons that I consider the right reasons, which would be to try to help, either the entity or the people. And you got to have fun, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
You got to have fun. Don't do it.
No, I've had two people get me and mad at me for that one. I have too much fun while investigating. I'm too much fun when I'm doing this.
Yeah, we do. But you know what? That's one of the things that you have to do. We do have a couple of questions here in the chat room.
Okay, go ahead.
Katie Stafford, what type of equipment do you like to use during investigations?
I will always say this from anything that I've ever said. I like myself the most. I know who I am. I know how I deal with my feelings. Do you know what I mean? So first and foremost, myself. But I do like I'm not a big tech person. I don't really need all the equipment. As a matter of fact, I want to go in there and investigate with no equipment at certain times, just to see how that differs from bringing in an audio recorder, bringing in, whatever. But I will say this, the binaural microphone that we use on the show, that it looks like ears, it's picking up it gives you that human, like, superpower hearing. Directional hearing, 360 degrees, but you can tell where the noise is coming from through this device. It's coming from the left side of the building. It's coming from the right. I love that. I love our Amazonic microphones. I love those things, and I'm a big fan of the data logger, which gives you the environmental, different environmental, the information on different, environmental aspects of the investigation. That's what I like the most. I like to have an audio recorder to record what I'm saying, and I like to have, I like to go in there basic, to be honest.
Gotcha. I got one of my very good friends, Paul Bradford, who just started a new show, Trending Fear, has a comment here, and he says, "Best of luck to Brian in his television career." So I don't know if you can see the chat room or not, but I wanted to pass.
I can't see the chat, but Paul, I used to watch you too, so thank you so much, man.
And see, we were just thinking about him, and then he pops in the chat room. It's weird. We were talking about Robin. Robin jumps in. We're talking about other people. Other people are jumping in. So, it says, "What is the most active place you've ever been?"
The most active place I've ever been, I would say. It'll be in the next season.
Man, wasn't that a little ploy to drag me in?
I'm saying that was good, wasn't it? I'm serious though. Nobody's investigated this location before, and we were the first team that was actually called in. And I can say from the moment we were there to the moment we left, it was nonstop. It blew our minds on how active this place could be. But you'll see that. So prior to that location, I've had good luck at Waverly Hills, to be honest. Madison Seminary was a good one too.
See, mine's still Ashmore States.
Ashmore's been great too. Mineral Springs in Alton, Illinois, where I'm from. That's a great one. So I can't really pinpoint one right off the bat. I'm sorry, Colette.
I like how Robin put in there something about not big on walking downstairs either. Why aren't you big on walking downstairs?
Thanks, Robin. There has been a few occasions. Look, let's just be honest. I fell through 200-year-old stairs in New Orleans at St. Joseph's Plantation. I went through the stairs completely, and I've fallen probably 3 times down 3 different flights since then. I'm not good with stairs.
Doesn't sound like you're agile on the steps.
No, I don't pay attention to it. When it's go time, I go, and I just go straight to the ground.
Thanks, Robin puts it in the chat. I'm going to ask.
Right.
And Robin knows a lot of stuff on you.
Yeah, he does. This scares me.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Thanks.
Start disliking.
So you guys have filmed season 1, and you guys are now filming season 2, or season 2 in the books?
We have a few more episodes to do for season 2.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Here's a question from Kelly. It says, "What is the creepiest thing that's ever happened to you?"
The creepiest thing that's ever happened to me.
I mean, I don't know if Kelly was listening. I don't know if Kelly was listening in the beginning, but trying to date some chick and have some guy show up in the room, that would have been creepy enough for me.
That was creepy. The creepiest thing that I would say There's two of them, man. One of them was real quick. I heard some footsteps in a building, and I went to go look at it, and something blew in my face. Enough where I said a bunch of choice words, and I threw a bunch.
Oh,
it
wow.
blew in my face, yeah. Another one was I was at Ashmore Estates, and I was outside with two other people, and a van pulled up in the driveway, and it stood there in the driveway, and it was there for about 5 or 6 minutes, and it decided it was going to drive off. Nobody got out. It started to drive off, and it stopped in the front of Ashmore. In about 5 minutes, it was sitting there, and then, honestly, it was not there anymore. It went away. I don't know where it went. And I asked Robin to look over his footage, because, he's got cameras and things. He never saw the van. But I'm telling you, I saw the van with 2 or 3 people. I'm still getting goosebumps about it. I can hear the rock road out there.
Right.
I can hear the rocks as it was driving by.
Wow.
Several.
You weren't by any stairs, were you, that you might have fallen down, and then when you got up, the van had already driven away? Or?
Let me think.
Ashley said she remembers that van disappearing.
What?
Disappearing. Now, see, Robin said for 200 years those stairs were fine until you had to go down them, and then this is going to be caught. This person's thing is going to make a. Riley said, "What was going through your mind when you fell through the stairs? Did you light flash before your eyes?" And then she says, "Old egg."
Oh.
Egg. That's where I'm going to have a question.
Let me answer my little tortilla chip here. That's good. With saying what went through my mind, I thought I was in the basement, and then I died.
A ghost.
Which is funny, is because I told Rochelle to, hey, be careful on these stairs. I didn't get it all the way out, and I broke some of the equipment that we just got that day.
Oh, wow.
How far was it? Like 5 feet, 10 feet? I mean, are we talking one of those things where you were like screaming for what seemed like days and you were still falling like, oh.
No, it was not far at all. It was probably only 10 feet out from that. Gotcha. On my back. I told Rochelle I look when I fly. Come on, man. This was Robin.
So basically, that you in your mind you jump like a gazelle, but you landed like an elephant.
Exactly. I hit hard.
I resemble that remark too.
it was it was intense. It's funny now. It was funny then. I know, and that's terrible that I did.
The history that you just broke.
I know. I shouldn't be laughing, but seriously, man, if you've seen the clip,
okay, incredible. That makes a challenge right there. They may have a clip of that when the back was done. How long ago was that?
August.
Okay, so if anybody's got the clip of Brian falling through the stairs or something like that, put it out there for us. Share that, would you? Tag me in it.
I got it.
Tag me in
it. This is going to be great. You've not seen it?
No, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't had. I can't tell you how many years. That because of you and Katie Stafford getting your chance to be on shows and stuff, and now Paul getting a show again. Thanks because of people that are my friends. You guys actually made me get cable again, so I can watch and support my friends.
That's awesome.
You're costing me money because I like you guys that much.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, when you watch this clip, you're going to lose your mind.
I can't wait for that. I missed it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I did not catch every episode with the schedule we've been keeping with filming with our project and 3 and 4 podcasts a week.
You're busy. I get it.
But I love you.
The president and vice president of LEP Productions, they drive a hard bargain, man.
Yeah, they do. Slave drivers.
It's crazy. They're slave drivers.
Sure. Nice.
So, but that also still brings you back to this whole. I get the tortilla chip and the deviled eggs. I could say she called you a deviled dog because she's a Marine.
Yeah.
But deviled egg?
Yeah. It's just
it's personal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out one day. Just messaging, talking back, and she was like, "That's okay." I think I called her my tortilla chip. She called me her deviled egg.
Having fun with it and stuff. She's a friend of mine that we called Cupcake all the time. He used to ride with the motorcycle club and stuff. And we called him Cupcake because he mouthed off one day and some girl threw a cupcake at him and hit him in the head and it got all over his hair and everything else. So we kept calling him Cupcake. I didn't know if there was a reason behind it or just something silly that happened. I think there's more to the story. I think there's more to the story. I think something happened with the deviled eggs and you just don't want to tell it because you're embarrassed.
Nah, nothing like that. Jen's great. I love her to death.
I didn't say she wasn't great.
We call my 21-year-old daughter Car Wash now. You can only imagine. She just turned 21, and now I call her Car Wash. So you can imagine why that is.
Yeah, I call my kids a lot of different names.
Right.
We won't use any of those names on the air.
I like how Mike Preacher, you're right, man. Katie and Katie are wonderful people, man. They are absolutely phenomenal. They're great people. But yeah, like I said, because of them and you getting the show, you and of course Paul getting back on stuff. You guys are the reason why I have cable again after not having it for probably 15 years. 15 years I've avoided that stuff, but because you guys got shows, I'm like, I got to be there for my friends.
But
it's cool because good things are happening to good people, man, and that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
See, if it wasn't about you and you said make you feel better, I gave a shake pop plug for our channel, but I won't. I wouldn't do that to you because I like you. But it's getting to travel around like this. Do you guys, when you go to these locations, especially locations that are kind of known, do you get any information from the teams that work there on a regular basis, or is it kind of standoffish? Or, I mean, how do you guys get a chance to interact with other people at these locations?
Yeah, sometimes we do. We have a historian on the team, Mustafa. He's great. You guys should reach out to him. He's an amazing person. He's funny. You'll love him. But the way it works is we'll get some information on the case, and then we'll deem who we need to talk to, whether it's other investigators, other teams, people that live there, worked there in the past. So we talk to anybody that we can to get this information. It's a whole process, man. It's people don't understand that it's not a one-night thing. We're there for a week, and we're doing interviews, and we're working, several hours. We do all of our evidence review, which is hours and hours and hours of footage and audio and things like that. It's hard work, but it pays off in the end. We talk to whoever we need to talk to get us the answers, for sure.
The reason why I kind of asked that question, because I know this is going to segue into this, do another pop real quick. I know one time you guys got to bring a mutual friend of ours, Mike Couch, with the Los Angeles Foundation and the Rhodes Hotel on the location. And I just didn't know if, there was more things like that in the future with people like that, because, I mean, it's because Mike's such a wonderful guy. And it's so good that you guys took him out with you like that. And I thought that was phenomenal, because you don't see too many groups do that. You don't see too many people on the shows bring people like that along. And I commend you guys for doing that. And it gave a lot of attention to Mike and the Los Angeles Foundation, and that's awesome.
Absolutely,
that's absolutely awesome.
When I found out that Mike was coming, I thought it was great. Grant's good friends with him as well, so we went to a location that one of the major claims was an amputee soldier that they keep seeing. So who's better to go in and talk to this soldier? Me being in the real military, Grant's knowledge, and then we would use Mike, who could he knows how that feels.
Yeah.
So why is this possible entity feeling the way it is? We have that support from Mike. I was in the military. I think it was a great thing to do. Mike is a great investigator first and foremost.
Oh, absolutely.
And to be able to sit there and be like, this is my buddy. He's doing this with me. This is something that we'll have forever. And it really did work.
Yeah.
There will be more of that. We've went into locations where we've brought in, a string quartet to play music. We've done all sorts of different experiments like that and brought in people to do things. And we will do that as time goes.
That's
You know
awesome.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything that we can do to help us out.
And that's something, like I said, you don't see a lot of people on the networks doing those things. So you guys doing that's something that's really a first on that level. And I commend you for it, especially with somebody like Mike, because Mike's such a great guy. He is. He's such an absolutely amazing human being. And what he does with the Lost Limbs Foundation and the Rhodes Hotel is phenomenal also. So, he's
almost too nice.
Yeah, he is. I was just gonna
You know what I
say,
mean?
Yeah.
He's almost too nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Mike, I love you, man, and I want you to come out and do things with us more often, and I would love to investigate with you anytime. But just one time, say something mean.
Hey, now, he's the reason I had to wear a dress. Let's not even go there.
That wasn't mean. That was brilliant.
Why was that brilliant?
Oh, man, anytime I can see you in a dress and see that comfort level, I think it rose with you, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was real comfortable with it.
I feel like you love.
You know what, man? If you're gonna make a bet and you're gonna lose and you have to do something like that, you might as well step right into it and own it. Just own it. And you keep it up. We're gonna make a challenge for you guys to do the same thing. Next year we'll do a dollar dance, but you guys have to be involved with it in dresses. And all the proceeds go to
anything for the Lost Limbs. Everybody knows
all the proceeds go to Lost Limbs.
Anything for Lost Limbs.
So I'll call you guys out.
Come up with the challenge.
I just did. We'll do a dollar dance at Ashmore Estates again. If Robin gets set up, you guys have to be a part of it. You guys have to wear dresses and get dressed up. We'll do another dollar dance and see if we can't raise money for the Lost Limbs Foundation. Now we just got to find out.
Robin?
No, you and Jason in dresses.
I'm in. So I'm just reading the stuff, and Robin runs his royalties. He said they used my video footage for Mike. Can you get me a check for that, please?
Talking to the wrong person. Yeah, I'm in for the challenge.
So, when it comes to that, see, I only got one time. Oh, man. Yeah, Robin said he's only got Mike mad once, and he's tried. Mike's a great guy.
I imagine Robin is the guy that can do it.
Robin knows how to push buttons.
He knows how to
You know
push
what
buttons.
Robin knows how to do?
Buttons.
You know what he knows how to do? Give you an ice bucket challenge that you'll never, ever, ever forget.
I saw that one too, man.
Holy Christ.
Now, see, Jody Brethren just says, wait, what? Who's wearing a dress? This past year at Ash Bash, I wore a dress on it and had to do a dollar dance. David Lowry volunteered to join into it. We did it for the Lost Limbs Foundation. What I'm saying is I just challenged Jason, and we're making fun of me. So I'm challenging them that if we can do it again next year, that Brian and Jason have to be there also, have to wear a dress and all that stuff and do a dollar dance. All the proceeds will go to the Lost Limbs Foundation.
As long as I'm not on the road, I'm in.
So
yeah, exactly. I mean, you'll have to talk to my agent, Jay, but I'm pretty sure I'll be free.
Nice.
We're a family show.
Don't you dare.
We're a family show. We're a family show. You ride on somebody's coattails like him, man. I gotta talk to Aegis. I gotta talk to Aegis when I gotta deal with him because that's why I ride on his coattails, baby, all the way to the bank.
Nice.
She said yes.
Robin says he's got more ice. No, I will never make that mistake again. Although it was a friendly bet between he and I during the Stanley Cup playoffs. Money went to I lost.
You didn't root against the Blues, did you?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And don't think I haven't seen that hat that you wear either. So that's strike 1 and 2. So where are we going for strike 3, bro?
What do you like for baseball?
Tigers and the Indians. You can't be mad at that.
I'm not even. No, I'm not.
Please don't say the Yankees. Please, for the love of God, don't say the Yankees.
I'm a St. Louis Cardinals, man.
All right, I can deal with the Cardinals. I don't have any ill will against the Cardinals.
And here comes a comment from Robin. Watch.
See, Audrey Green Morahan wants to know, ever been to a place where the emotions were so hard it was difficult to finish the investigation?
Not to finish, I would say. Let's take Madison Seminary for a second. I was investigating Madison Seminary, and I had emotions that I never had before. I'm not one of those guys that go in and get these feelings or anything like that. I strictly go in there. I don't.
I just like the way you emphasize these feelings. The way you emphasized it. I'm sorry, it made me laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not this emotional guy. I'm a Marine.
Yeah. I don't get feelings like, I don't feel entities and things like that. I don't necessarily walk into a room and say it's heavy or things like that. I rely on the evidence to tell me what's going on, or personal experiences. Anyways, I was in that place and I was getting overwhelmed, man, to the point where I started to get irritated and angry, and I had not encountered that before. But I had the power in myself to say, okay, I'm going to stop this investigation at the moment before I do something that could jeopardize the investigation or make me look really ridiculous. And I'm going to back away for a moment and gather my thoughts, let that emotion go away, and then hit it back. So what I did is I ended that session. I went outside. That was the end of my night, basically investigating. I was emotionally drained. Like I could fall asleep. It bothered me that bad. But the next day, I went back into the same area, and I basically told the entity or whatever was there, like, it's not okay to do this. Let's talk it out. I had to make myself go in there in the same element and make it better, make it right is what I called it. And I did. So the investigation was we were able to still finish the investigation, but I did stop for that night to, gather my thoughts and let the emotions ride out.
Awesome.
It was intense. It was intense. I had never been in a situation like that before.
Well, see, Brian just said you're a closet Cubs fan.
Robin?
And Tim Maloney said that you love the Beatles.
I don't know a Tim Maloney.
Well, if you want my opinion on the Beatles, remember when I told you about the Beatles, Brian?
No.
They were the boy band of their generation.
They are the boy band. The Beatles, to me, are, well...
Rob was going to kick your butt. Rob was going to kick your butt. He's a huge Beatles fan.
I know. I got to watch what I do, man. There's a lot of Beatles fans out there. I don't understand it.
But see, you watch what you do. I'm not smart enough to do that. I go ahead and say that they're just the NSYNC of their time.
Yeah, and see, then I got to go in and clean it all up.
Right. I'm just keeping it easier for both of you. I prefer the Rolling Stones, a real band, over...
Oh, the Moaning Groans?
Look, man. Let's just...
And right now you're listening to Paranormal Mysteries Podcast, sponsored by LEP Productions. It's a nice guest. Is Brian Murray from Ghost Hunters. We appreciate you coming on, Brian.
Thank you.
Back to the Madison Seminary.
Because Jay just went and got us all in trouble again.
You're getting in trouble.
I stay in trouble.
Yeah.
No, but I think more people need to listen to what you just said, because a lot of times if you push the envelope too far, you end up doing more harm than good to yourself and possibly the entities and things that are at that location. So if you get to a point where it's getting to you like that, it's not a problem to gather your stuff, leave for a while, collect yourself, try to figure out what was going on, but to go back in and figure it out. And I think
that's what I had to do, man. Like it got super intense for me, where the emotions were so high that I to this day, I have a very hard time watching it. because I don't like what it made. I don't like that person that I was at that moment. I was really irritated, and that's not who I am as far as how I investigate. So I'm fortunate that I was able to say, hey, I can't be like this. It's not going to help anything. And at that moment, Rochelle was having, her own set of issues as well. That's not okay with me either. So let's stop what we're doing right now. Let's gather that information. And then when the time is right, we'll get back in there and we'll finish this session where we're in the right mindset and we can really get to these questions and these answers that we're looking for.
Absolutely.
That's what I did.
And I think that needs to be done a lot more because, like I said, I think that if you push it and push it and push it, you're only hurting yourself and possibly the entities or spirits that are at that location. I think it no longer becomes an investigation or something that you're trying to do at that location. It becomes, I've had it once, Jay's had it once or twice. We had it at 101. There was just something there. It turned and started making us on 2 different occasions just angry at everybody. And I'm not like that, and Jay's not like that. So, and we did the same thing. Shut
it's
it down.
just not a feeling that I was comfortable with. I didn't like it.
Right, exactly. But a lot of people think that they got to stay in there now because it's not manly or womanly to walk out because this is we gotta confront this right now. Sometimes that's the way you got to do it, but a lot of times just shut her down, walk out, let yourself figure things out.
But
I'm
usually
respect that aspect.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But usually when you're getting emotional like that, and especially when it's anger, you're no longer thinking objectively. You're no longer thinking at all. You're reacting it's nature for everything, fight or flight. So you're either trying to fight and defend yourself or you're trying to find an escape route to get out of there. You're no longer thinking rationally. You're no longer collecting data to understand anything else. You're just trying to respond, protect, and flee. So the best thing to do is what we're talking about is to shut it down for a little bit, walk away, collect your thoughts, go back there like you did the next day on an intelligent level and not an emotional level. That you change everything when you do that.
Honestly, from day 1 to day 2 during that investigation, it had changed from the first night to the second night. And I think a lot of that's to do with the approach that we took and just realizing that, respect is huge. We need to respect not only the location, the people that run it, and the people that may still be there. So you'll get more answers being respectful in life and afterlife. You know what I mean? So that was it. That was my big moment where I realized that, we got to do it this way.
But one of our places that we were investigating and filmed at for our little project, Jason turned the thing on here. We had somebody, Tina got kind of taken and her energy got real weird and stuff. I got defensive. I immediately went into defense mode. And Jason turned the whole conversation around and started talking about how maybe it was, because it had never been investigated that much before either, that maybe they just weren't understanding and took it the wrong way and da-da-da. And the whole atmosphere of the thing changed. It really did. It was to sit back and watch it is absolutely amazing to see how he took it from the perspective and not from an emotional side, but from an intelligence side and a caring side and not a defensive anger side. And it swayed everything. I enjoyed the hell out of that to see how that, even though I was the aggressor in that, I was the one who was in wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. I saw my best friend Rochelle not in a good state. She was uncomfortable. She was physically felt like she was getting sick and she was having these pains, and I didn't like it. And I did go to that defensive mindset. And to the credit of the rest of the team and Grant, for sure, after I walked out on my own to say that I needed this break, I have to give them credit because they were all there for me. There wasn't any second guessing. There wasn't anything. They had my back 100%. And they were even calling me later that night. We're talking 5, 6 in the morning. They're still calling to make sure I was good to go. And so I appreciate everything they did for me as well.
That's
why
having a
it was
great
important
team.
to get back in there.
That's having a great team.
And that's the important thing is I say it all the time. Surround yourself with good people, good things happen. when you're investigating locations and you walk through the doors with those 4, 6, 10, however many people you have on your team, you have to trust those people that you're going in the door with. Because when you're trying to, when you have no idea what's behind that door. So when you're going in there to try to experience this and try to find answers and do that, you have to have a core group of people that you trust. Man, to say trust with your life, but I mean, it can get that. It can get that crazy in some locations. And it took us 3 years to find the group of people that we have now to be able to work well together. And it's great to see, the group of you guys with Ghost Hunters, that you guys have that. That's, to me, that's important. That's really important when you go into any location, to be able to have each other's backs and to trust each other, to work with each other. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't have it just with Ghost Hunters as well, though. I've got it with Riverbend Paranormal.
Absolutely.
Right.
We've built this. We've built our teams on that, the respect, that camaraderie. I like to think of everything as in a military sense. I look at these investigations as missions, and you have to get in there and do what you do. So quit. You have to get to the bottom of things. No matter, there's no time limits either. If you go into a location and you're investigating and it doesn't work in that 6, 7, 8 hours that you're there, that doesn't end the case. You can go back. Yeah. There's no time limits. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Here's a good question from Luke Walker from ASY Paranormal and Big and Funky Productions. I got to give him a plug, man.
Got to plug it, buddy.
Got to plug. Did you have to change your style to get used to going from a small group to having the TV production company and everybody else milling around?
Nope. I don't change anything about me. I go in and do everything the same way that I always would do. If there's a camera in my face or if there's not, I investigate the way I want to, and I will not change for anyone.
Do you think that it's, I mean, obviously it's going to be different, but how is it different from when you're investigating with Riverbend than when you're on set with Ghost Hunters? I mean, there's going to be a bunch of different setup, with the cameras and all the production people and stuff. How is it different on an investigation from with your home group as to with your TV group?
What are you about to say, Jay?
I say Brian's actually got to work more because he's home because, he's got nobody picking up his stuff for him. Ashley's got his back when he's at home.
Yeah. I would say...
I had to pick on you a little
teams, bit. I love it. What's the differences? The differences are this. Like, for the show, there's a lot of work that goes into it. You have a lot more time to do what you're doing. And there's a process. When I'm back home with my team, this is like my second family. Everybody has been around each other for so long that we don't have to worry about, camera setups and things like that. We kind of just know what we're doing. And now as we're on our second season of Ghost Hunters, I trust everybody on both teams, and I do the same investigating on both teams. I actually look at us as one big family, to be honest. So differences, obviously, you guys laughing about.
Robin
said something.
Robin said the difference is that with the production thing, with the TV thing, you have to show up on time.
That's true.
He just slaps you in the ass, don't he?
Every day of my life for about the last 10 years.
What are friends for?
Yeah.
Right.
Probably every day. He's the only guy I know that shows up to my house when I'm not here to see my wife and send me the picture.
He said that in the chat room.
He actually said that in the chat room. He said he knows where you live, and he knows where you live, and he doesn't have to come to see you. He's just coming to see your wife.
He done that. I was on an investigation. He comes to my house and he takes a picture with her, and then has the nerve to send it to me.
Right.
No, it's not nerve.
It's okay.
It's not nerve with Robin. It's not. Robin's got plenty of nerve. He don't have to worry about his nerves. He just does it because he thinks it's funny. Takes no nerve at all.
Yeah. I tried to steal his truck one time, man. I got caught right off the bat.
You're
Ask me
brave
about
enough.
that.
You're brave.
Yeah, well.
Or
It
dumb.
didn't work out.
Or dumb.
It was fun.
I can't already get around the mystery machine. I'm afraid to touch it because I have bad luck with stuff, man.
I've never touched it.
I won't. I get close to it. I'll point at the Scooby Doo logo on the side of it, but I won't.
I was going to say, hopefully for the people that are just tuning in, we're talking about cars and mystery machines and things, and I got close to it, but I didn't touch it. Well, I haven't touched it. Well, I was pointing at it. And
but it is. That's the good thing about having a good team around you. And to me, I didn't think that you knew a lot of people in the first season. You didn't know a bunch of them and never worked with a bunch of them. I knew you know Rochelle, but the rest of the guys on guest stars, did you know them beforehand? Had worked with them beforehand before starting the show? So it
absolutely not.
But see, that's what I was going to say. It kind of shows. But what's cool about that is that it shows your guys progressing together, you guys working together, and how and learning each other's different styles and techniques. And that's something that's not done a lot either. Usually, you have these shows. It's always a team that's worked together for years and years, and they know each other's things.
Yeah.
And there's no time to explain how you're progressing or why you're doing this or all that things, because you know why you're doing it. You guys have done it for years. Jason and
right.
I know what Jason's going to do. I know he says I'm going to take care of this. I know he's got that taken care of. I don't have to worry about that. I do my job. But you guys with the show, it's getting to show how you're learning each other's skill sets, how you're learning each other's personalities, and showing how you're starting to become one and more of a cohesive unit. And that growth
absolutely
is something that's not hardly ever shown on these type of shows and things like that. So I commend you guys for taking that angle, and I think it's absolutely phenomenal because it shows that ability to from many come one and progress together.
Yeah, that was amazing, by the way.
Yeah, did you see me just sitting here going?
It was good too, though. Like it was all
right. It flowed together. Yeah,
I use big words and everything.
Every once in a while, Brian. Every once in a while, it's like, wow.
He gets
Who was that? Who was that guy?
Shut it down now.
Oh yeah, we're done.
So I would say, we didn't know who got cast on the show until we went to the airport the very first day. So when we went and when we went to do the auditions, there was 14 people there. And we didn't know until that first day we got to the airport who actually made it. Obviously, I knew about Rochelle because we came together, and I asked, when they told me if I got it, did she get it? And they did tell me that. They wouldn't tell me anybody else. So at that point, I didn't really ever speak to Kristen. Okay? I knew Mustafa, I knew Brandon just for the auditions, and I didn't meet Daryl until we actually got to our first case.
That's cool.
So we're from all, we come from all different states. And I think it's great because the way people investigate in California could possibly be different than they investigate in Delaware or whatever. And now you get to learn from 5-6 other people. So the learning is the amazing part, and seeing how each and everybody does things differently, and they bring something, so amazing to the table. So everybody brings something different.
Always.
And that's super awesome.
Something me and Jason always reiterate, and Teresa too, and everybody with what we're doing with our little prayer mystery thing, is that we reiterate to people that no matter who you come in contact with, you learn something from. Even if it's something you don't like, you learn what you don't want to do. So that way, but you still take some piece of that away and say, you know what? I didn't like all of this that they did, but I did like this one section here, and it changes you, and it changes your perspective on things, and that's what's cool about it. You guys doing it on a bigger level like that is because we've always done that. We've always investigated with each other in different teams and helping different teams stuff. And to see it being done on a bigger scale is, do you think that the paranormal field is starting to change? They're starting to become more accepting and quit having these little, this is my territory, that's your territory bull crap. Do you think there's a change in the wind coming for our field finally? God, that's 2 in a row.
I think there should be. That's another good one.
God, I don't even. Are we still on air? Is this really happening?
Yeah. I do think there's a change coming. I think there's a change coming. I think that people are realizing that you can work with other teams, you can work with other people, because the ultimate goal is the same at the end. help? How can we
Right.
figure this out?
And-
Right?
Exactly.
Well, if people can put their egos aside, then yeah, I think a lot of times you can work well together. But there's a lot of egos out there that my way's the best way, my team's the best way, and no one wants to. I think that's a shame.
I
It
think
is.
it's fading.
What's that?
I think it's fading. I think there's still people out there, and there's always going to be people like that. But I think on the grander scale, I think it's fading. Like I said, I've known Brian, I've known Jason for 9 years now, and only because of the paranormal. I've known you for about 7 years now because of the paranormal. We've all worked together. We talked together. We've shared information together. We've actually sent each other things and, hey, what do you think this is? Can you hear this? I think that's a bigger thing going on in the paranormal. And I think with what we're doing with our Paranormal Mysteries project and what you guys are doing on your level, on the next level up, it's showing that people can come together and learn together. I think that we're showing it, and we're not just talking about it, we're doing it. I think people are actually now putting it out there as, look, here it is, we're doing it. We're not just talking it, we're walking it. And I think it's changing. I truly, if maybe it is and maybe it isn't, but I want to believe that. I truly want to believe that we're going to another level in this field of progress.
I hope so.
I do too. I think that the right people in this field are going to see it like that. And then I would say the people that want to bicker and want to fight and have all that drama, they have different motives.
They're going to anyway.
Yeah, you're going to have that.
That's not the field.
You do.
That's not the field or anything
Right.
you did. Those are the people that's unhappy with anything. That if it's not them doing it, then then they have to spoil it for somebody else. But you can't allow that to dictate your life or what you want to do.
No, I think that.
Robin said, "I guess have cue cards." For a change, Robin's busting on me and not you. He's wanting to know if I got cue cards or something. Did you guys feed me information to say?
Robin, we did have to write some things down for him earlier, but these last couple have been completely free flowing.
Yeah, oh man. Impressive.
Steven in the chat room has a question.
Hi,
He's
Steven.
wondering, can the TV crew, or when they're in editing, know what to look for, like maybe missed EVPs or shadows or things that you guys didn't catch when you were going through evidence review? Do they have any kind of input on if they hear or see something? Or
well, the great thing about the crew that we have is they've been on this show for years and years and years.
Oh, wow.
Some of the same, so some of the same cameramen and even some of the same producers have been on the show since the beginning, or very early on. And some of them are investigators themselves, so they know what to look for. They know, what sound is a real sound and whatnot. They're there almost as another set of eyes and ears while we're in there. So we look at all of our own footage, and if let's say we go through a building and we had an incident where we may have a camera, but the cameraman's always there. We can always say, hey, we need to look at your footage too. We can go right to that timestamp, see what they caught as well. And they know what to look for as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like a big crew of investigators when we're out there.
Gotcha.
I like behind the camera better.
I'm telling you right now, the crew that we have is amazing. Everybody's so nice. Everybody knows what they're doing. They do their jobs so good, and they're so professional on how they do things. I love these guys to death.
And again, that's important.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What I figure out how to ask this question.
Read it.
That was a cue card.
No,
that was a free one.
Right. This is what happens when you try to go on your own. Season 2. Do they give you guys a list of locations, or is it sit by the phone and wait for the next phone call and you need to be ready to go in 4 days for this spot? I mean, do you know where you're going for the season, or do they just call and say, hey, here we go, be ready to go in a couple of days, you're gone for a week?
So we have a schedule, but it does not give you any information other than the state that you're going to. Okay. So in a few weeks, I'll be going out, or in a week or so, I'll be going out to do another few weeks, a couple more episodes and I know the state that I'm going to. I don't know the location. I don't know even where in the state I'll be. A few days before, we'll start to get a little bit more information on where we're going. So
Gotcha.
I would say a few days to maybe a week before we go out, we'll know the city and the state we're going to, and not necessarily the actual place we're going.
Gotcha. I just think it'd be important for family to,
It is.
you know,
They just have a
that.
block of. They just have a block of days where you're going to be out.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's a schedule that says you'll be out from this month or this week to this week, and then later on they'll tell you where you're going.
Gotcha. But you get that in advance. Season 2, you're going to be in Ohio, you're going to be in Indiana, you're going to be in Florida, you're going to be in California, you're going to be here. And then as the time progresses, then they start telling you what's happening.
Yeah, and
Okay.
those sometimes change as well.
So
For instance, we went to Pennsylvania 1 week, and after one day we were in Ohio.
Oh, gotcha.
Change at any time depends on, you know.
So do they regulate your wardrobe? You got to watch what you wear and stuff on the show?
Yeah, to the point you can't wear no logos and things.
Send you Jason's Paranormal Crash Test dummy shirts.
Wear it. Hell yeah, send it.
So we sent you one of these nice. Aren't those cool?
I love what you're doing right now.
What?
I'll be more than happy to send you one.
If you can't wear it on the show, though, places, right?
Yeah, I can wear it out anything. When you're on the show, you know, you.
Well, I'm just saying they probably wouldn't like you wearing a shirt like that on the show. I'm being serious.
You
They
can't have
would
anything
not.
with logos.
Well, that's logo, but that's not going to look on the level that your guys are on. They're not going to say, "Oh no, you can't wear that." But
Right.
you could walk around at, I don't know, one of the smaller.
Maybe.
Luke wants to know, is that maybe so you don't do too much research on the place prior to going, so you go in with fresh ears or fresh eyes, or question that I asked you?
I think it's that would be a question for the production. You know, they've got a lot of things to think about when they're going to a location. You know, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's something that I really can't answer. I want to do the information. I don't need to know everything. I want to know the bits and pieces that are important to me. I don't need to know every single thing about it, because then in my mind, I go in there just seeing all that. I want to go in there and listen. So I just get bits and pieces of the information.
I would think it'd probably be more confidentiality for locations and things like that than from the little bit of knowledge that I have about it. But
yeah.
Do you have a lot? See the cars pulling in and the production vans and all that. Do you start getting a crowd? I mean, is there lots of people around, or is it more you guys are in and out and nobody really knows?
I will say this, to be honest, man. It's been a lot of going to the location, and we've had few incidences where people have shown up, and I mean, you can't. It's hard not to at a St. Augustine Lighthouse. Everybody knows about that.
Right.
But like going to a woman's house or some of these places that we've been going in season 2, man, nobody would know we were there. We've had a few show up, but most time we can get in and get out. It's when you go out in the towns around there and you go out, get some dinner or something, that's when they know.
Like I saw your pictures when you first got picked up and you guys were doing all your traveling. One Ghost Hunters is coming back, and they've got those big travel buses with all the Ghost Hunter stuff on the side, and your pictures on the side of the buses, and you're doing all these interviews on the TV. What, man? When you're doing that,
To not be
Are
on
you
a wanted
shitting me?
poster.
That's the first thing. I still don't believe it. I still get a little like, I can't believe this is happening. And I feel, I remember when I saw the bus for the first time, I was like, me?
You almost looked embarrassed.
Huh?
You almost looked embarrassed a few times seeing yourself on things like that. The
Yeah,
look on your
it's
face
weird.
was almost, it was humbling and almost embarrassing, like you were almost embarrassed it was you.
It's weird, man.
It has to be.
Like, it's weird. A bus pulled up in front of a hotel that had a picture of you on it. And it said Ghost Hunters on it. And I looked at that and thought,
Hey,
man,
that's me.
that is me. And I went over there and tried to take a picture. I was like, picture on the bus looks a lot better than I do right now. So I'm not going to even take the picture anymore. It was cool. It's cool, but it's nerve-wracking a little bit. And it's like I still can't believe it.
I figured your picture will never be on a wanted poster.
yeah.
Yeah. You'll be on one of those.
I have before. It's a family
I
tradition.
think I have too.
Shelly's got a question for you in the
Hi,
chat
Shelly.
room. Her question is, do you get frustrated if they cut an investigation too early and you'd like to spend more time there?
So they won't cut an investigation off if we're really progressing in what we're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get frustrated about anything like that. We're there a long time, and we're there to get to these answers. And
that would be the amazing part.
They don't really cut you off.
That would be the amazing part to me right there. Because we're used to going to those occasions, and it's on a weekend. And I got to work on a Friday, and I got to work just like when you're with your home team. To be able to go there and be able to say, okay, we've got X 7-10 days that we can do. We don't have to do them all, but we have this amount of time that you can take your time and really delve into this investigation and see what your answers are. That would be phenomenal to get to do one time.
It's great.
I mean, because where we used to live, we spent a lot of time in there, but to be able to do that again, to be able to just delve in with a team and just lock down for a while, and I'm not talking 8, 10, 12, 24 hours. I'm talking about 2 or 3 days to really work it over and to see what you really get and see if you can't, because it gives you time then to recheck what you experienced and see whether it really was something, whether it's this or that, or that's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal.
It is. You're actually, that's the whole reason you're out there. So from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, that's what you're doing. You're into this field. What?
Robin said, don't forget who made your first picture banner.
I still got that. Again, it says something about my wife. He's the best.
Yes, he is. But yeah,
it's great to actually be able to spend that much time there because, you can really dive into it, and you don't have to rush. You know what I mean? You don't have to look and say, by 1 o'clock I have to be out of here. You know what I mean? And we all know as investigators, you can go into a location, and nothing can happen the whole time. Nothing can happen for 2 hours, and at the time you're about to leave, that's when it starts going off. You know what I mean? Then you're rushing, and then you're losing your focus, and you're trying to figure things out. This is great. You have the whole time to just focus on what you need to do, and no time limits. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's find these answers, and let's give these people their need. Just answer them.
Is the entire episode filmed at night? Do you do any during the day investigation?
We do things during the day as well. We do most of the investigation portions at night, but there are things that we do in the day that we don't really investigate during the day. But if something is to happen while we're doing something in the daytime, we'll definitely go and get with it right then. You know what I mean? We do night and day things. That was a really hard question for me to answer because I knew what I wanted to say, but I said it all dumb.
No, you said it like a Brian.
You're not reading the cards we gave you, Brian. You
I know.
keep reading the cards that we gave you.
That's what you get for thinking for yourself.
I can't hardly read in the first place.
All right, so big question. This is your time. Number one, how do people get a hold of you if they're, say a promoter for an event or whatever, and they want to have you come in for their convention or whatever? Do they contact you? Do you have an agent now? How's that going to work?
They contact me, and then I'll get them I'll send the information to my little manager, my manager.
So you have a manager.
So they can contact. I have a manager, yeah, and her name's Lindsay. She's great, and email me the information, and then I'll get with her.
Okay. All right, Robin has a question. Serious question.
Well,
have you had a location on set that nothing happened at all, or do little? It was tough to do an episode.
Not yet. I would say that most people want you to go out and find entities, and they want that kind of evidence, but that's not the way it always works. You know what I'm saying? We went to a place that the evidence of activity, there was hardly any. But what we were able to find, that the levels of, like the high EMF levels were off the charts. And you can build a case around, well, these things are happening because of this right here, this phenomenon here, this phenomenon here. And it didn't have anything to do with an actual spirit. The reason the things were happening, we could point at these environmental factors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
That's a win too. That's a win right there. Because you're also helping.
It's not always paranormal. There are environmental factors that you can find out why things are happening.
Yes. So no, everything that we've been to, we've been able to say one way or the other.
Gotcha. I know that's completely off, but when Robin asks a question, it's got to be asked.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works. And it is that time.
You're feeding me.
It's that time again, Jay, for what are we listening to and who's doing what? You do this one.
See, it's going to be professional. Thank you for joining Paranormal Mysteries Podcast on LEP Productions with our special guest, Brian Murray of Ghost Hunters and Riverbend Paranormal.
Hey, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Riverbend's still there, baby. What?
That's my family too.
Absolutely, man. They're part of it. You're still part of them. They're still part of you, and they will always be that way. So I'm gonna give them a big pop in there also because they deserve it. They put up with you for longer than what Ghost Hunters has.
Right. They have no idea what they're getting into.
You should talk to Michelle Marie. She's put up with me longer than any of this.
Well, she popped in the chat room before her name even popped up on my screen that she had joined. Robin had already said hi to her.
That doesn't surprise me.
So before I even knew she was in the room.
He knows what he's doing, Terry.
He's stalking.
He doesn't even have to.
He's probably outside your house right now.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I don't put anything past Robin. And I'm learning real quick that unless you mean it, you don't challenge Robin either. Because he's going to
challenge Robin.
He's going to make you back it up. He's going to make you back it up. That's without a doubt. Which is also usually kind of fun and funny.
They used to be.
What do you mean used to be?
I don't challenge him anymore.
No, me neither. After that ice bucket shit. No.
Well, see, you guys got ice bucket. I said to wear a dress and look stupid.
He's going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that. But I always get that chance that I might win. I might.
You're not going to win.
I might.
I don't think he makes challenges that he can lose.
But on the same aspect with me, every time I've lost a challenge, we're with Jason. Okay, the ice bucket sucked, but all the rest of them, something's always went to a charity. So even though I end up doing something stupid and looking like or getting hurt a little bit, maybe like freezing to death like Jason, something still good came out of it. So it's all good.
It is. You're right.
It is for a good cause.
And see, maybe
it's a great cause.
You guys run your mouth. You guys be wearing a dress this time doing a dollar dance with me. If we do it again.
If it's going for lost limbs, I don't care what it is.
I don't mind either. Yep.
I got my wig hanging right over there on the wall, man. Nice bright pink wig I wore that day.
I know you do. I know you do. You're so comfortable with it. Brian and I said that earlier.
Way comfortable.
I got my pink knee-high socks still. I kept it all, baby. I kept my costume.
That's beautiful.
Back to contacting you, Brian. What's the best way to do it? Because I know you have a personal page. I know you have a fan page. I know you have all that. Can you? How do they find you to contact you? To get that?
So like Facebook, you can go to Brian Murray GH for Ghost Hunters, and then Instagram and Twitter are all the same as. You can contact any of those. I get messages on those a lot. Contact my personal Facebook's pretty much for my family and things now. You know what I mean? Just so I can keep that like that. But the fan page or whatever you want to call it, it's so weird sounding, but that's where I get a lot of information. That's on Facebook, and it's Brian Murray, just GH.
Here you guys go. I'm like, I see if I do this right. Oh, come on, work. I'm trying.
So I know you're gonna start doing conventions and things here. Anything January, February that you want to mention where you're gonna be?
Man, I'll be in Virginia in February. Right off the bat, man, I'm going to be killed and crucified for this. I forgot the locations.
It's okay, man. We put you under the gun.
March, I'll be at St. Augustine Lighthouse. I know through the summer I'll be in Portland, Maine, for a convention there. And I don't know, I'll put them all up on that page, that Brian Murray page.
I just put the link in the chat room.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. Thanks.
So let's see, a Paranormal Exploration on February 29th. You also have March 7th at St. Augustine Lighthouse. And July 26th, it says on here, the Paranormal Cruise to Bermuda.
Yeah.
July, you go to Bermuda?
Exploration is going to be phenomenal. It's investigating with a team at the Glen Tavern for a couple of days. I think you can get rooms at this place. I think it's going to be awesome. The lighthouse is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to going out and talking with people and having a good time.
Robin said you canceled on him.
Well, I didn't. I did not cancel. I did not cancel on you. The production told me that I'm going to be investigating.
There you go.
Oh, and then I'll be at SilCon.
You will be at SilCon this year?
Yeah.
Not just making a cameo appearance?
Nope, I'm going to actually have, I'm going to sit at a table or something.
Oh, wow. I hope our table's close so I can throw stuff at you.
I hope so, too.
Liar. You hope they put me at the opposite end of the building. But you know me. You'll know I'm there.
I know you're there.
I get that special bibs for last year.
Everybody in Mattoon knows you're coming.
Yeah, that's where those wanted posters start.
Exactly.
I get those special bibs for last year. Those nice red and white striped ones with the big blue pockets. Like a clown walking the alleyways.
I saw it.
You even got your picture with me.
Did I?
Yeah. See, you already forgot about me. Oh, my. Ow.
It was because he took a picture with Jezebel, and that was just a little higher ranking than
say Ellie. Jezebel's way more important. Way more important.
Maybe Bodine will be there. We're gonna have to get him. We're gonna have to still tone him down a little bit. But.
Get Bodine and Brian Murray together. That would be a great shot.
I'm into that.
But see, Brian's got to have on his bibs because he talked about how he got the show. He did the first interview. He was in his bib overall. So Bodine's always got his bibs on. So it might be a bib off.
Right.
And by the way,
I'm trying to feel. I don't know if I have any more.
And by the way, Robin Terry said something about a dance off at Ashmore with the dress competition, and which means I need to start taking lessons because I can't dance for shit.
We can do that.
Oh God, I'll be interested in this dance, and I'll do some dancing. I don't care.
Robin said you guys need to talk since he's going to SilCon.
Robin's going to SoCon?
Brian says, hey, Brian, we need to talk since you're going to SoCon.
Okay, I'll message him.
You better, or he'll message your wife and you'll be in trouble.
Right.
He probably already has.
Or he'll just knock on your front door.
Yeah, I don't even think he would knock.
George Shoplin has a question.
Always.
What's up, George?
He says, really late here. Sorry, my question, because of thousands are loving the show, how do you and your team remember just to investigate and forget the cameras and the pressures?
That's pretty simple. I'm there to do a job.
When
My
you're famous
job
like
is to
Brian.
investigate paranormal. I'm not worried about a camera. I'm not worried about what can be seen and what can't be seen. I'm there to do what I do because I love the field. That's the honest to God truth.
That's the production company's job to worry about what can and can't be seen. That's not your job.
Nope. I go in there and do what I do. I will not, I mean, these guys are great at what they do for sure, but sometimes I forget that they're even there.
Because they're
That's
good at
how
what they
good
do.
they are. That's how good they are. And that shows how invested I am in what I'm doing as well. You know, there's one thing that, yeah, you're making a TV show, but the most important part for me is this person has called us here. They want to know something. Let's get to the bottom of it.
Absolutely.
That's it for me.
Nice.
That's what it should be. That's what it should be. Every investigation, no matter what level you're doing that, whether you're filming with ghost hunters, whether you're filming paranormal mysteries, whether you're just doing it for the clients themselves. That's what it should always be. Focus on what you need to get done and do your job.
I'm no better than anybody else, man. I'm there to just do what I'm supposed to do.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you want to say about yourselves, say about ghost hunters, say about anything that's, that can plug or anything like that?
Say anything about that nasty hat.
This is no lie. You guys know me, so I'll say this. This second season that's coming out, and I don't know the date. People continue to ask me the date. I don't know the date. But every episode and every location that we've been to in the second season has been phenomenal. And some of the things that we've done and some of the breakthroughs that we're making, I've never seen before. I'm saying this completely being honest with you. I'm so excited about what you guys can possibly see, what you can possibly learn, and what you guys can possibly teach us from seeing what we've done. Do you know what I mean? This, honestly, has been the hardest but most rewarding last 4 or 5 months that I've been a part of the paranormal field. But through all that we've had to go through and through all the long nights, what we've been able to do and what we'll be able to showcase, I couldn't be more proud of what the Ghost Hunters team has done and what we've been able to just come up with. You'll see it. I believe it's phenomenal. I think that we're making some breakthroughs, and I think that we can possibly change the way people see the field by watching this second season for sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good, yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I cannot tell you, man. I have never witnessed some of the things that we've been able to capture. And
now I got to keep my cable.
Get the cable.
I got to keep it now.
I'm being just truthful. There was nights that I came home, back to my hometown, and I couldn't get over what had happened the week before. And I would think about it, and I would try to rationalize, and it's been phenomenal.
Now I got to keep my cable.
Yeah, can't wait to see it. You was going to keep your cable anyway.
I'm a cheap guy. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie about it. I'm a cheapskate. That's Teresa.
Right.
But, well, wait a minute. Don't ask Teresa because you know what happens. I said, we're going to get rid of cable. Teresa says, no, we're not. I said, yes, dear.
Yeah, I guess we're not.
Yes, dear. Sorry.
Awesome.
Sorry, dear. You don't survive 32s.
Oh, yeah. And I want to also say thanks for the continued support, man. Like, everybody's been super cool and super nice to me and the team personally, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I don't feel like I'm any different than anybody else that's in this field. We're all trying to do the same things. And I feel very privileged and lucky that I'm able to do it on the level that I'm doing it now. But honestly, at any level that you're doing it at, just do it the way you do it. Stay true to yourself and have a blast.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that even more. Could not agree with that any more and it could not be any better said. Absolutely could not be.
Yeah.
I mean,
and like we've said, man, we can't support you enough. Good things are happening to good people, man, and you're definitely one of the good ones, brother, and I'm happy as hell for you.
Man. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome too, and I appreciate you guys for calling and saying, "Hey, let's do this." I knew that we were going to try to do it last year at some point, and things were hectic. I'm super excited about what
I've been doing podcasts now for 7 years, man. I'll wait. You know what I mean?
I haven't been doing it that long, Brian. I'm just riding his coattails.
Oh, see, he threw it back in my court. This coattail thing.
Done that today. You guys have flip flopped.
Yeah, we do that to each other all the time. All the time. Now we're just riding Brian's coattails. How's that, Jason?
Are you guys going to talk to anybody else on the squad, or?
We would love to talk to anybody that would be willing to come in and talk with us anytime. That's without a doubt. Anyone's got an opportunity to come in and join us, we would talk with them in a heartbeat. Because to be honest with you, there's a lot of them I don't know on a personal level like I do you. I know you personally. I knew you personally before this ever happened. So the rest of them I really don't know that much about besides what I've seen on the show. So getting to know them would be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll let them know to look you guys up for sure after this is over. Definitely need to talk to Rochelle because she can give some really deep and down. She can really do what Robin does to me, but probably on a more, I don't know. She's there when I fall through stairs, and she could tell you probably things about me and that.
See, that's when we find out something like that. We'll talk to Michelle.
Oh God.
Don't talk to the wife.
Have to shut that shit. I'll shut that shit down.
Don't talk to the wife. Don't talk to the wife.
No.
We'll coordinate with Robin. We'll have Robin go live on his phone on our Facebook stuff, and then we'll get it done.
Okay, I see how this is going to work.
Robin said he's going to see her next week anyway, so I'm only assuming you're going to be on location.
That's true.
Good deal.
And I believe what he says.
Yeah.
Jerk.
Good deal.
So I'll talk to the guys, man. I'll have them look you up.
Absolutely, we'd appreciate that.
Please do.
Anything, we definitely love what we do. Also, besides investigating, we love this opportunity to talk with people and open up and share more things. So that way, we do increase the knowledge base of this field and the camaraderie about it. And if that's something we can do through our podcast, through LAP Productions and Paranormal Mystery Podcast, and love it. So definitely, if they want to talk with us, we'd love to sit and chat with them for a while. Damn, I sound smart again.
This has probably been my favorite one that I've done.
That's 3 times.
You've got more. You've got more coming up.
Yeah, you're gonna be busy on podcasts.
I like talking to like you guys. Robin and Mike were cool because Robin, he does what Robin does. I like talking to anybody that wants to talk.
And they want to talk, and they want to have a little fun with it, but also have some serious sides to it.
Yeah, and I enjoy the just trying to say like. I don't want it to be, solely about me. I want it to be about the field and what people can do. I don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? I don't have
any answers.
Just work together and we'll figure it out someday, maybe.
I don't have any answers, but I got a lot of questions.
You impressed me tonight with some of these big words and like these long sentences and.
Right. Do you know how long I've had to talk to him and teach him and get this stuff done for this week just so we could have that kind of an interview. It's been hectic.
I told you, LAP Productions has
29 days.
LAP Productions has put a different side to me, man. They brought out a more professional side to me, and I figured that if they was willing to let me step up to this level, then I need to try to step up. It'll
don't get ahead of yourself.
I want to sound smart again. It failed.
I know what you're doing.
But before we get off here, there is something that we do need to promote. And I know you probably can't make it, but if you could be, it'd be great. In April, what we have going on at Ashmore States, we definitely want to say a little bit about that. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm sorry, you should know. April 17th through the 19th, we are doing a suicide prevention awareness at Ashmore Estates. It's from a very personal level with us. We're losing a team member. Right now, as it looks, Dustin Perry will be there, Tim Miley, Rebecca Foster, Tim Woolworth, Jessica Potter, Scotty Rorick, Andrea Humphrey, Philip Adrian Booth, Brian Danhauser, Christopher and Rachel Booth, and Christopher Settenroff will be there. Paranormal Mysteries crew is working with Robin Terry on this event. It is all for suicide prevention and awareness. The money is all going to the it's actually been sanctioned. I can't see the logo to really read it right now. It is being sanctioned by one of the suicide awareness organizations. So all the proceeds are going to that. There will be people there who have volunteered to come there who are therapists or counselors and things like that. There will be people to talk to. So everything about this is going to help a bigger cause, something that touches all of us very deeply. And we just want to make sure that we put this out there. And there's an event page on Facebook, so you can go find it. There's an event. Tickets are on sale now. The reduced price tickets have been extended. It's about $35 for the weekend, Jason?
$35 for the weekend, and that ticket also includes a T-shirt from the event.
But I'll definitely get it out there and start sharing it. And if I'm not on location somewhere, my plan was, if I'm home, I would like to get up there for sure. I know that, it's a very serious. It's very serious.
Very, very
being
serious.
That, there's 22 military deaths a day from suicide and things like that. So yeah, it hits hard for me too. And if I'm home, I would love to be there. I don't care if I'm in the audience, just to be there and see guys and help promote it and, just show my appreciation for it. I would definitely love to be there.
Getting the word out and help promoting it. We appreciate that. And
yeah.
It's something like I said.
I'll start sharing it and stuff as well. I actually have shared it a few times.
I'm stalking, I see.
And this event is not a paranormal investigation whatsoever. It's all going to be roundtables and speakers. And I know Tim's going to do some ITC device stuff. And, there's going to be gallery readings and that kind of thing. But it's all to raise awareness about, suicide and the problems and that kind of thing. So I just don't want to give people the wrong information because it's at Ashmore Estates. It's nothing to do with any kind of paranormal investigating and all that weekend. It's about coming together and talking about it. And if we can save one person by doing it, it's a success.
Absolutely.
We just want to keep trying to help. Yeah.
It's gonna be
you guys are doing a good job at trying to get that awareness out there. Dustin, he does it on a daily basis as well. He's a phenomenal person. So
it's something that's really, like I said, it touches everybody one way or another. So it's something that we're very blessed that Robin's agreed to do this and allowed that Paranormal Mystery team to be a part of it. And I think Riverbend's actually helping out a little bit on the sides too. They're going to be there that day doing some things, helping out with the building and parking and all that stuff. So because it takes more than one or two teams to keep this thing flowing. So there's a lot of other people that's going to be involved with it. And I just can't. I'm just going to leave it at that before I'll have to leave the room like you did in that episode. I'm going to get all emotional. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
All right, guys.
With that said,
anything else for me?
Just keep doing you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep rocking it. Keep being you, and I'm proud of you. I may give you a lot of crap, you little Irish redneck, but I'm proud as heck of you. You're doing a great job.
That was perfect.
Well, it's the truth, man. I've called you that for years, and I'm not going to stop calling you that. Just keep being you, man. Keep doing your thing. You've got a beautiful family, beautiful friends and stuff around you. You got a great support system, and just keep rocking it, bud. Just keep rocking it.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good night. Thanks for having me on. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll get the word out about, you guys. Obviously, I try to share everything. So, yeah, thank you so much. And now I'm going to go watch some TV that I shouldn't watch.
Go watch some Ravens lose?
Hell no, that ain't happening. I'll probably watch some true crime stuff.
That's what my wife and I watched the Datelines in the 2020s, and now the first 48's back. So that's what we watch.
I've been watching The Killer Speaks. Oh,
yeah,
that is good.
Teresa watches Live PD to see if I'm on it.
You will be.
She turns it on when you go to Kroger real quick.
Oh, Jay's left the house. Turn on Live PD.
All right, guys. Well, have a good night, man.
Later on,
Thanks a
Bob.
lot, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending the next
Sure.
couple hours with us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Good
I'll
luck
see you
to
guys
brother.
soon.
All right, sounds good, bro. Thanks.
All right, bro. Have a good one, man.
You too.
See you.
There
All right,
he goes.
Jay.
Dude, that's a great show. You done great.
Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. We're not gone
All
yet.
right.
We gotta say goodbye ourselves.
We got to say goodbye, but first,
Here we go. Here we go.
for everybody that was listening and for everybody that has tuned in tonight, we are LEP Productions Paranormal Mysteries, working with Robin Terry and what he does. We can't say enough good things about Robin and what he's doing, but
Can we say some mean things?
we can, yeah. Well,
No,
we can say
we wouldn't
whatever
do
we
that.
want.
We wouldn't do that. We like Robin.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I wouldn't either.
There is an event. What is it? Para-Unity
At the art.
at the R Theater. We are giving away 2 tickets to that event. When's the event, Jay? January 30th to February 2nd or something like that, or that weekend?
I was trying to look it up. I wanted to make sure I didn't quote it wrong.
Leave it to me. I will.
Well, that's why I was hoping that way you would do it and I didn't have to.
Well, I did. I know it's that last
February
weekend.
1st of 2020.
Okay, February 1st. So it's, what is it, Saturday? Friday, Saturday?
Before the Super Bowl.
Saturday.
And he's got Donna Wagner Nunnally and Katie Stafford, Jessica Potter, Dean Williams, Mary Marshall, and Mike Ricksecker.
So for people, we will have 2 free tickets to that event. Is there going to be put on the list tomorrow?
I don't think so. So it might have to
No?
wait till Sunday. I don't know.
Maybe next one of these next Sunday. Maybe next show next Sunday, because I gotta go meet my oldest daughter at college Sunday into Monday.
Well, maybe we'll do a special announcement. Just do a special announcement anytime we want.
We can do that.
Right.
There will be a question from tonight's show, and the first person in the chat room to get it correct, once we advertise when we're going to do it, you'll win 2 free tickets to the Para-Unity event with Robin at our theater. So if you're interested in it, please keep following us. We'll put some stuff on LEP Productions, Paranormal Mysteries, and then our personal pages. But it will be 2 free tickets to that event, and the event sold out quickly. So these tickets are impossible to get anymore.
But we've got them.
So,
but we've got them.
We've got 2 tickets.
We've got them. They're impossible to get, but we've got them. And the link to the event is in the chat room now. If you guys want to go check it out, find out more information about it.
Scott Sukel. What's up, my brother? Thanks for joining us. But we're done, Scott. Probably
perfect time, and Jay shutting up.
Yeah, that's right. You tuned in just as we're done.
So with that said, don't forget about that. There'll be tickets for the our theaters Para-Unity in February 1st there at the art theater. But don't forget about the Ashmore State. For the suicide awareness, please go get your tickets now. Vendor spots available. Pass the word. If anything else, if you can't make it and stuff, but if you can share the event, share the Hades out of it for us. Well, I beg you, please share it anywhere and everywhere you can. Every time I start sharing it a whole bunch, I go to Facebook jail again.
I've been doing the same thing, and it's happening to me too.
So,
and think about it. Think about it, everybody. $35 gets you admission all weekend long and a T-shirt. Where are you gonna go? $35.
And the
all
money
weekend.
all goes to suicide awareness.
Exactly. Robin contacted this company that has it, and we've been approved to use their logo, and all the money that we raise is going back to them. So again, it's you don't have to be a paranormal group or anything like that to come. Like I said, it's not anything to do with paranormal investigating or anything like that. It's just a group of people. There's going to be counselors and other people just to share their share their stories and come together that weekend to raise money and raise awareness is the big thing.
I think it's the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is who is we've actually working with.
So yeah, I don't think anybody else is doing these. If they are, they're starting, and we encourage you to follow them as well. Anybody that's doing any kind of suicide awareness and things like that, please support and go if you can. But like Jay said earlier, it's something that hits home to us very closely. So hope to see y'all there. And then, like I said, we'll bring something up from this show tonight in a later show, probably this week or weekend. And the first person to get that answer right in the chat room will win 2 free tickets to the Para Unity at our theater.
With that said, we appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you to LAP Productions for production again. Jason, thank you for being my brother and always being here to help out, man. And I enjoy doing this show with you all the time.
I'm glad we're doing Sundays again. Don't forget to tune in, probably not this Monday, maybe the next couple of Mondays, but we'll have Sit, Chat, and Laugh with the Lynches on Monday nights. Tuesday nights, you got the TNT show with Tina and Teresa, followed by Stirring the Pot, making Tuesdays funny again.
And we're back.
The #1 ranked comedy podcast on Z Talk Radio.
And we're back this week.
And we're back. Joe, Jay, and Jason making Tuesdays funny again. So if you like the paranormal, you like UFOs, you like cryptid, you like that, Sundays, Paranormal Mysteries Podcast. Everything's going to be done by Productions. We'll be able to get that going up on LAP Productions Facebook page. Follow us. We're having fun. We can't thank you enough for joining us again. Can't thank Brian Murray enough for always on the road, and family is very important to him. So for him to take a couple hours out of his night to sit and talk with us and answer all your questions, Brian, again, we thank you. Good luck to you on Ghost Hunters. And Jay, my brother, love you, and
we're out of here, man. Y'all have a good night.